this regime of oppression and suppression will collapse. But you need this persistent pressure on it. So this is, I mean, the main message I have. I hope my stories is like some sort of gives hope to people, like not to fear authority, because the moral cost of silence is much higher. Like I can't imagine myself being silent while my people are being genocided. Not only my people, any people are.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally happening. We got Mahmoud Khalil in the building, in the flesh. We're gonna have a conversation. We'll do whatever you want to do after. If you want to, walk around. If you don't want to walk around, it's also perfectly fine. But I just wanted to say it is a real honor to be in your presence. I'm so happy that we get to do this face to face, not in the facility in Louisiana.
You were planning to come in?
Yes, I was. Not only was I planning to come, but I also was like talking to other politicians to just be like, let's do a rally. Like let's do a rally outside of the detention facility. But for those of you who don't know, how would you describe yourself and who you are?
Hi everyone. This is Mahmoud Khalil. I'm pretty sure now you have some sort of like an impression about me. How with all the media, a lot of it, like unfortunately, is not accurate. I don't know how to start with describing myself. Like I'm Palestinian. I have an Algerian citizenship because my mother is Algerian, and because unfortunately Palestinians are better off with another passport because of so many obstacles. If they were to use their Palestinian passport, I was born and raised in a small refugee camp in southern Damascus in Syria, and I left Syria in 2013, early 2013, I believe, to Lebanon, where I did my undergrad. I worked there, and then I came here just 2 years ago. So a lot of people are surprised that I've only been here for 2 years. I met my wife actually in Lebanon, Noor. We met on a volunteer trip. She was on a volunteer trip to refugee camps in Lebanon, Syrian refugee camps, and we met then in 2016. And we got married like 2 years ago, or less, more. Yeah, I lost sense of time now.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. So let's just start off with what happened. What happened to you?
No, I think we can start like from the student movement as a whole. Like, I mean, I joined Colombia in January 2023, so way before all these like student movement, like about Palestine. I mean, the movement was here, it just wasn't as big. And I started studying master's degree in public administration and international affairs, basically in line with my professional experience, working mostly in international development and diplomacy.
What did you want to do?
I wanted to do before then, like just to go into diplomacy and be engaged more in Palestinian politics. I feel that there is so much space for us, for the youth and the young to do something in politics, in Palestinian politics. So I interned actually at the Palestine mission to the UN during the genocide. So in 2024, I entered at the UN doing that. That's New York.
It's New York. Yeah.
No, but then the university would complain that the protests are noisy.
Yeah,
like,
that is funny. That is funny to think. Oh, it's noisy in New York, which is normally very pleasant, very quaint.
There's a hospital right next to Columbia. Like, you hear sirens all the time.
Of course.
But yeah, basically, like when I came here, I wanted to be like involved with Palestinians, like just to meet Palestinians, But it was clear that like Colombia is a very Zionist.
Wow, this is news to me.
I mean,
You don't say. That's crazy.
no. I mean, people like sort of like turned to Colombia after October, but like since ever, like, Colombia is a Zionist, has been a Zionist institution.
A lot of intractable ties to Israeli projects, whether it be having, I believe, like a sister school as well in Tel Aviv, but then also the issue of divestment. It seems like is always considered a no-go zone for many college administrations, but especially one like Columbia, where it was reported that a bunch of alumni and even other people from New York that might not even be related with Columbia, but cared about Israel quite a bit, were in group chats talking about what to do with students who were speaking out. In Colombia, of course, as you know better than anybody else.
No, it was a group of billionaires. Like, I believe the Washington Post broke the story. Like literally a group of billionaires trying to conspire against like kids. Like this is what I would say. Like like a lot of the students protesting here are like 17 to 22, and you have all these billionaires, Bill Ackman and his likes, like literally conspiring against them. One of them saying like they would, I think like push $50 million like to against the students, and another one meeting with Eric Adams and promising to give him money for his campaign if he agrees to send the police to campus.
Counterterrorism unit.
Yeah, and it's literally like, I mean, it's just like, it just gets to me, like you don't need all of that.
It's kids with moral clarity, with a conscience.
Absolutely, and very courageous. And actually, this is very good, like to mention, like now on the media they say like, oh, Mahmoud Khalil is the leader or a leader of the protest. And to be honest, like if you want to put me in that category of a leader, then at Colombia there's at least 500 leaders. Who have done way more courageous things than what I've done. Way more. Like I wouldn't, and one of the reasons I was at the point chosen to negotiate on behalf of these students, because I'm more pragmatic. Like I can meet you like in the middle, so sort of like we wanted that flexibility in negotiation, because like you want to have that. Thank you.
Oh wow. Okay, thank you so much.
And this is a main thing. Like you have now a new generation who are unapologetic and basically they can see the truth in their eyes. Like no one needs to tell them like, oh, it's a complicated conflict. It's not what you think it is. But now like this new generation has awakened, and that basically, and this is where your question originally was like, what happened to me? Like the student movement pushed. I mean, man, what are you doing?
It's too hot.
This is not the right way.
You
can wait 5 minutes.
I have to.
I'm sorry for that.
They're having trouble hearing?
Do we have...
You wanna amplify the microphone a little bit? Just press the, we can do that. There's probably a lot of background noise, that's why. No, we hear fine. No, it's fine. Oh, you got one guy. That's what happens.
There's always that.
That happens to me all the time, especially when it comes to audio. I call them audio perverts. They're like, they got the $500, like $1,000 studio headsets in, and they're like locked in. They're like, I can hear your hair moving on your arm. What's going on? What's that about? It's a little low, but it's fine. Okay, well I think we increased it. So
let me know if that works. I mean, I don't want to shout all the time, but
I had this with Zoran. The first time I ever had this was Zoran.
At Qahwa House? Or?
No. We went to a bunch of different Yemeni coffee shops in Astoria.
Okay.
When
Someone
I came
needs
out.
to do a study on Yemeni coffee shops.
Someone needs to do a study on Yemeni people.
I mean,
some of the most
they don't need studies. They are
some of the most
they're
resilient.
amazing.
Yeah, I love them. I love them so much. Oh, it's blown out. It's too
much.
It's too much. Now they're in unison saying, "Put the noise gate back on." It's blown out.
Test.
Okay.
1, 2.
Did you turn it back down?
I turned it off. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you turned it off. The noise gate thing. Okay.
Should
All
we
right.
Yeah, I mean, this takes me to your question around like the courage and the extent of the student movement pushed the administration to do things like as fascist as they did to me.
Yeah.
Literally sending plainclothes agents without any identification. Going back to like 1950 something, 52,
Yeah.
like finding that like small
So
law.
let's start there. How did you feel? Like, what was going on in your mind when you had masked agents? That
They were not
did you
masked,
know-
just to be
or,
to be honest.
or okay, well,
Yeah.
did they identify
no,
themselves?
They did not. So they were literally plainclothes.
So like plainclothes, random plainclothes people coming into where you live. Because I remember seeing the video that your wife shot, and it was harrowing. But how did it feel in the moment?
So I was basically at that point, like I had been targeted by smear campaign doxing online for like almost two weeks. It was very coordinated. Oh,
yeah.
You're in there? Okay.
Oh yeah, I know all about that.
Wall of Fame.
Yeah.
So basically, like I mean, it was like very coordinated. You know, like every day, like the same tweet. I don't know, like 10 times with the same information about me. So I was expecting something like, you know, you have all these like Zionists mentioning Rubio and mentioning DHS, ICE, and all that stuff. But I was like, to me, you know, like maybe they will visit me, like talk a little bit, then they would figure out that this is all bullshit. Like there's nothing against you. You did not say what they're accusing you of saying. But even if you said it, it's First Amendment.
Yeah, it's exactly.
You know? But the bigger part was like, you know, I'm a green card holder. Like I'm not a student. So when they came and they tell me like, oh, your student visa has been revoked, and they looked at me, I was like, I don't have a visa. Like, what are you talking about? And he got so confused that
It's
then,
easy to confuse them, I think. They're
usually confused.
Yeah, they're
but they don't
very
care.
confused
like,
all
they
the
don't
time.
Care. They don't have to do anything to get you in trouble. And then like my wife Noor got the green card. They saw the green card, got more confused.
So she brought out the green card.
Yeah, we brought the green card. We're like, this is my green card. Like, what visa you're talking about? And then they talked to their superior and telling them like, bring him anyway. So at that point, I was mostly concerned, to be honest, about Noor, like about my what would happen to me. I wasn't as concerned because I knew I did nothing. And the fact that they mentioned the visa thing, I was like it's maybe we will go to the office. They will see that they literally had it all wrong, and they would be out. But I was mostly concerned about Noor because the last thing they said to her was, if you don't separate from Mahmoud, we will arrest you. And she was 8 months pregnant. So that's the one thing that I was actually worried about for the next 30 hours, because imagine, I mean, I was kidnapped at 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. and I talked on Saturday, and I waited until like Monday 7 in the morning to have my first phone call. So for 36 hours or more, hours, I did not have any opportunity to talk to the outside world. You know, they took me from. I mean, usually I'm chill. I'm not sure if the video showed. Like, I'm usually chill with.
You look super cool.
Yeah, I mean, because I did nothing. Like, why would I be
No, I understand.
worried? You know, like like, and I was so chill, and it's fine. I mean, because I'm also used to getting, these secondary investigation, like at the border. Like,
of course,
most of the times when I come in here, like I would go to have a 30-minute interrogation with an officer. So I'm used to that. Like, I'm totally.
Have you ever done a DHS trip? Where you send a petition to the Department of Homeland Security, and they legally have to tell you like why they stopped you, but they can give you. I mean, I did that when I got detained.
Yeah. What did they tell you?
Nothing. They took I had a global entry, which I thought was already interesting because I didn't even think I would be able to get it.
Yeah.
But then I got it, and then they took it away from me without telling me why. And I still have the card.
Your name is Hasan.
Yeah, I still have the card, and when I got detained, I did that DHS trip thing, and they were like, "Yeah, sorry, it's just, it's gonna keep happening," pretty much.
Yeah, because they can, because for them they can do whatever they want, and this is what should scare everyone. Like, not immigrants, not those like undocumented or not citizens. Like, even citizens should be scared,
of course,
of this.
So they took you from your home, and they expeditiously immediately moved you from state to state in a matter of 24 hours.
So actually, like, in 6 hours, I was already in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then I spent like 6 hours in New Jersey. Then they took me to JFK, then to Texas, and from Texas back to Louisiana. So, I mean, the whole trip, like over 24 hours, and
no contact with the outside world at that point.
Nothing. Like, they would refuse to tell me anything. Like,
yeah,
what's happening, all of that. But I can't see them. Like, one of the escorting officers like was Googling my name and reading articles about me. So I was like, what happened? Because at that point I did not know that Rubio said all these like stuff, or Trump had already tweeted the White House. So the first time I hear any of that was 2 days after the fact. And I mean, the most difficult part of it is like you're shackled, like as if you did, I don't know, something really crazy. And I did not know actually for the first 5 hours, I did not know what they are charging me with, because they refused to show me the arrest warrant.
Yeah.
Ended up like they did not have one.
Yeah. Was there at any point, like in the beginning when they were apprehending you, did it feel like, I mean, are these like actually members of law enforcement, or are these just like random thugs?
Yeah, I had that thought the very beginning before I got into their office. At Federal Plaza here.
Yeah.
But then that was repeated when I got to Louisiana, because they would take me from one car to another. It was, I think, 12 in the night, and they would take me from one car to another shackled. So I'm like, maybe they are, but they are not. So that was like very, very scary. To be like they wouldn't tell you like where you're going. So even when you ask them, they wouldn't tell you. You're just expected like to follow them, like come with us, not to wait, just come with us. Like I knew that I'm going to Louisiana when we boarded the plane.
Yeah.
So imagine that.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. Especially to happen in America. I mean, like I have thick skin. I grew up in Syria. I grew up under such regimes where they use, mukhabarat and intelligence.
Of course.
Officers, plain clothes, all of that. But for that to happen here in America, supposedly respecting rule of law.
Yeah. So that's actually interesting that you brought this up, because I'm from Turkey. There's similar protocols in Turkey as well, not to the same extent as like Assad or anything, but there's a lot of political persecution, and people get arrested for speech. People get arrested for being a political dissident, and they get shipped away into a prison facility in Silivri. And I think this is, there is this notion, like I came to America in 2009. And when I came to America, I had this idea, this understanding of America from the outside. I had been to America before, but the notion that like there's an American dream and all of the stuff that I had seen in television and in the movies, I thought, you know, this is the land of prosperity. I was not, I was very aware of American imperialism, of course, as everyone is, especially in that side of the world. But there was this theory, this idea that I had in my mind that did not meet the reality that I was experiencing. I very quickly found out, for example, how expensive healthcare was. When I was in an ambulance after an accident and the bill came and I couldn't believe it. I could not comprehend that. But I never felt like we would get to this level of violent apprehension over speech, something that virtually all Americans cherish and defend, something that even I would say Republicans care about as well. It's not, for a lot of Americans, they don't just consider this like an opportunity to be able to say hateful things and slurs, but also a formative part of the American experience. And that there is still some semblance of justice, there's some semblance of rule of law in the criminal court proceedings. Do you feel like your attitude has shifted now that this happened to you?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely had a similar impression and understanding of what America is before.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always the Palestine exception, though.
Of course.
You know, like that's. I mean, we thought it's only like to certain things, but like the Palestine exception actually goes into every corner of American institutions and public discourse, unfortunately. But yeah, like I wouldn't absolutely like thought that they would go this low to prosecute speech, like political speech, not even like, you know, like because they can accuse you of like, you know, like speech instigating for violence,
Yeah.
all of that. But they did not even do that. Like they said, it's basically about my speech.
Yeah.
For Palestine. And this goes like how, and I think I connect it in my mind to how strong the student movement, but also the Palestine movement as a whole in this country, that would push the establishment to come up with fascist policies to curb this speech.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe this is the first big test of American democracy and rule of law. Like, how would they deal with the increasing support of Palestine among Americans as a whole? And it's not only young Americans. Like,
No,
I think now it's across the board.
I think it's overwhelming majority under the age of 50 at this point is more sympathetic to the Palestinians than Israel. And that is a testament to the student movements. That is a testament to all of the movements that have taken place. It's a testament to the resilience of Palestinians in general and the courage that they've demonstrated in spite of being victim to a genocide, to be able to communicate the violence that they experience. And I mean, look, I've been an advocate for the past decade of my professional media career, and I never thought that I would see this much unconditional support to a very obvious injustice that's unfolding in front of our eyes. Let me ask you about that, actually, because I want to get back to the Jenna facility in particular, because you wrote from the detention facility. But do you feel like there has been a major shift in attitude? How have you received this?
It's very major because the injustices against immigrants have been happening before my arrest.
Yes.
And for a long number of years. It's just like the public was not aware of that. It's just that Trump brought it to the surface because Trump loves to show off, like see how cruel I am, like him and Stephen Miller and his puppets. So I was shocked that there is such detention centers in the United States, and it's very similar to like having Guantanamo in Cuba, or sending people abroad, because basically these centers are a black hole. No one knows what's happening inside. No one cares actually what's happening inside, because for them these individuals will be deported. They wouldn't have the legal or the financial means to sue us, or to actually challenge the detention in court. And Congress members also don't care, because these are not citizens. Who cares about them? Who cares about them? But it's literally like inside Gina. If you want to work in the kitchen, you get I think $4 a day. So it's like, I don't know, $50 an hour. It's literally slavery. Like, that's how these private prisons are making profit. And I'm not sure if people actually know that every detainee costs the government inside like $140 every day. So the government is paying $140 for every detainee
to a private corporation, to a for-profit prison.
Exactly, just to make money out of. That's why you see.
And they have quotas too, like for-profit prisons that get these federal contracts, these government contracts, also have a quota system as well. There's been plenty of issues where there are some judges that have even been arrested for just sending people willy-nilly to the prison system in an effort to make sure that they're like at least putting the beds to use.
And this makes also why, I mean, there's two questions why they sent me to Louisiana. I mean, there are ICE detentions here in New Jersey and in New York. So there's the question why they sent me to Louisiana, because the detention is literally in the middle of nowhere. In the middle of a swamp, like no one can reach you. I mean, when my lawyers wanted to visit, it took them like half a day just to arrive in Louisiana. But also because there are so many empty prisons there that they wanted to utilize for immigration enforcement. And which is the more important in my case, because they sent me to Louisiana because they can guarantee the outcome of that legal system. So people think like immigration courts are an actual court of justice. It's not. It's just an office. And
it's also a part of the executive, so it's not. It doesn't operate as an independent judiciary.
Absolutely not, and
it works in line with
that
the
was
administration.
It was clear in my hearings. Like we would present like so many evidence that what the government is presenting is totally wrong, but then the judge says no. As simple as that. Like you feel like it's a reality show or a sitcom, actually, like more accurate. And I feel like now the American public, when they look at this moment, 20 years from now, it would be like very disgraceful moment that what's happening to immigrants. And like I'm a bureaucrat. Like I spent time being like a government employee in my life. I understand why governments want to enforce immigration policies, all of that. But what's happening now is the immigration policies are being enforced in a cruel way, just to punish, just to be supremacist, just to be that we deserve to be here more than you do. Just to.
It's a way to appease the sometimes violent and racist fantasies of a select few in the base, because these are not broadly popular ideas. As a matter of fact, the attitude towards immigration has shifted dramatically back to a space where people are repulsed by the Trump administration's ICE raids wherever they happen. And the more frequently that they happen, the more people see militarized Gestapo coming in and arresting their neighbors, the more angry they get, the more resentful that they get. And now the attitude has swung dramatically in the opposite direction, more than ever before.
But that's why, like, you should abolish ICE. Like,
oh, for sure.
You shouldn't have like half measures like around ICE. Like, ICE should be abolished.
Yeah.
Because
it's a relatively new agency. A lot of people forget it's a post 9/11 invention.
Exactly.
The Department of Homeland Security, people think is has been around.
It's about 20 years old now.
Yeah.
Like 2004, I think it was created. But also now, like, ICE is acting as armed militia for Trump.
Yeah.
Literally armed militia. That's why now they have a budget of an army.
Yeah.
To do things without a warrant, without anything, because unfortunately, like, they did not like the American public historically did not care about immigration policies, laws, all of that. So it was always controlled by the executive, and that's why everything bad is happening through the immigration process. I mean, there's a lot of things bad happening somewhere.
In general, yeah, but yes, immigration enforcement is used as the primary mechanism to advance the wishes of the administration, no matter how cruel, no matter how ridiculous they may be. Given the way that immigration enforcement has operated in this country in perpetuity, they have there's a severe lack of legal limitations. Like a police officer can't do a warrantless search and seizure, but technically ICE, in the way that they operate, are in a legal gray area. Technically,
they can. I mean, they literally broke into my building.
Yeah, exactly.
They broke into my building, and they got away with it because in ICE, like, they can just follow someone into the building.
Yeah, well, cops do that too sometimes, but
also they cannot show a warrant arrest warrant. Like, it's just bizarre to have, and they don't have body cams.
Yeah.
So, like, and they are law enforcement agency. They don't even have the body cam. So they act in total impunity. And that's why they're getting away of all these outrageous like conducts and incidents that's been happening.
So, talk to me more about the Jenna facility. You say, how do you say it?
I think Gina.
Yeah, but you say it like it's a facility. You say it in like almost Arabic. You say Jenna.
Gina.
Gina.
Gina facility.
How did you spend your days there?
I mean, I was spending like my time with over 70 men in the same dorm. Like, not that I have like my own room or cell. No, like the 70 people are over 70. Like, I say, like, it's at a minimum 70, more than 70 in this dorm. And I mean, you'd spend your time mostly like listening to people's stories. A more just heart-wrenching story after another. That was like a big part of my day. Because time really passes very, very, very slow when you're on the inside. And if it's a weekend, it's like literally torture. Because on the weekend, like, there's nothing happening, things move slowly. So there's, I mean, just talking to people. I would have some time with my lawyers to talk about my case, and basically supporting other detainees with their letters, motions. A lot of them, they don't have lawyers. They don't know what kind of rights they have. So I would have, like every day, an hour or two just talking to people about their cases, writing, drafting on their behalf requests to ICE. Because the level of, because when you get there, no one tells you what your rights are, like, or if you have rights. I mean, technically you're supposed to have rights.
And they do,
Yeah, no, they do. I mean, even a court, but no one tells you that, and no one is enforcing that you have a right. I had a person from Georgia he was imprisoned for like 7 months when I arrived there, and his wife was arrested or also was imprisoned, detained in another facility, just 2 hours away from this facility. They were not able to see each other for 7 months, despite being only two hours away. But also, they never had a direct phone call with each other. So what would happen, he would call his sister, and she would call his sister, and then they would have the three-way sort of like phone call. But then I was like, but you have the right to request from ICE that they should facilitate a direct call.
Yeah.
So I helped him with that one. So he every week he would get an hour to talk to his wife. And this is one of like the very few incidents. But people would come to ask me with really difficult situations. Like someone came telling me, showing me like documents. He's like, he has just arrived to the facility. So he showed me the documents, and he told me like, I haven't talked to my lawyer. What are these documents? So I read them. He signed on his deportation. I told him like, this is your deportation.
Yeah, that's
like,
a very common.
No one told me about that.
Very common tactic is you getting them to sign a piece of paper without telling them it's a self-deportation order.
Did you know that it's your deportation order? He's like, no. They told me like I have to sign it in order to transfer me to Gina. And then 2 days later, he was deported to Guatemala. And he has a U.S. daughter here, so he did not even get the chance to see a lawyer to challenge that any of that. So this is just one of the stories. So many stories. Like it's really crazy what's happening on the inside. But the Trump administration is trying to paint everyone inside as a criminal.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that actually they are not. Like they did nothing wrong. When they crossed the border, they crossed it when it was open.
Yeah.
They had whether CPP or not. But even if they were here illegally or whatever they want to call it, they are in a process to fix their documents on the outside. But ICE brought them from their court hearings. I met really like incredible number of people like who were taken from their court hearings, or for a stop sign. Like when I I think last week or the week before, I learned about a case where I think it made it to the news that a girl was arrested, was put into deportation because of a stop sign. Like the police stopped her for that. But like on the inside, there's so many of these cases. Like someone who would,
people that have been here for 15 years, they have a trespass from 10 years ago. Even things that otherwise would have been expunged at this process. People that have paperwork issues. But like you said, most of these people, the people that the Trump administration is going after, despite the fact that they made a big show of this, like there's a massive amount of criminals internally inside of America that are just like doing heinous crimes with regular frequency.
They have a quota, like when they have the quota of 3,000 people, and then every other day they tell you, today we apprehended this killer or whatever. Yeah. But it's like 1 out of 3,000.
Yeah, so and the person that they apprehend is not actually the person that they apprehend. If they've done a crime, they're already in the system. Exactly. Yeah, they go to the prison. Chat. For those of you who don't understand this process, there are people who have done crimes as non-citizens in this country. Okay, of course, everyone is capable of crime. Non-citizens, of course, are responsible for an unimaginably small share of the crime that takes place on U.S. soil, especially as opposed to documented and natural-born U.S. citizens. Right? They do less crime per capita than documented and natural-born U.S. citizens. And when an undocumented person does a crime, especially like a violent crime, they do not get released. They go through the system, they get properly prosecuted, charged, convicted, and then they're in the prison system. Or sometimes they're even deported, depending on what they've done. What the Trump administration is doing now, in an effort to boost their numbers, in an effort to make it seem like they're actually doing this like massive deportation scheme to appease these racist monsters in the base, is to go after people who are collaborating with ICE. Because there are a lot of people whose status is deliberately kept in limbo, in legal limbo. And those people are actually checking in with ICE with regular frequency. They know exactly where they live, they know who their children are, they know where they work. And then ICE will go to the immigration courts that get their direct orders from the Trump administration to basically either create like this paperwork issue, or to deny continuing their immigration applications. ICE knows this, that's why they wait at the courtrooms. Yeah. And they kidnap them from the courtrooms.
And this really like goes into the base of what a legal system is. Like
Yeah.
if now people cannot trust the court, they cannot trust that, because sometimes you're in a position where if I don't go to the ICE check-in, or if I don't go to my court hearing, then ICE will come and take me. But if I go, also ICE will come and take me.
Yeah.
So should I run, or what should I do?
Exactly.
So
This is the reason why
confidence
they have
in the
sanctuary
system.
cities.
Yeah.
The reason why sanctuary cities were first created and were actually like law enforcement was on board with sanctuary cities originally is because they wanted cooperation from law enforcement. And if there's like real fears that law enforcement will immediately direct you back to INS at the time or ICE after, then they would not cooperate. So when crimes happened in neighborhoods with like higher percentage of undocumented people, then they could get no witnesses, they could get no collaboration from law enforcement, and this became a major problem. If people don't trust the system because they feel like the system is actually there to capture them now.
No, but that's what they want. They want to push you into being a criminal.
Yeah.
They want to push you into not going to your court, not going
Yeah.
to your ICE check-in, so that now they have an excuse to actually come after you. So they are manufacturing criminals. Like
Yeah.
if we want to call it, it's not crime, but
Yeah.
like if we want to call it that way.
Especially when the alternative solution is one that is way more popular than mass deportation, way less costly than mass deportation, where you just document these people, you expedite the process of paperwork, and that they can just work and even pay more taxes than they already currently do. And it's just a system of
And
cruelty.
I did not meet a person who was not working. Like
Yeah.
I did not meet a single one that was not actually like, who's not their U.S. Employer is the sponsor of it, or actually like paying for their lawyer.
Yeah.
Like I think I literally don't remember seeing someone who was not like actually like
Yeah.
working.
But they grab them from their place at work for the most part. It's a heinous system, and that's one aspect of the immigration enforcement. But the other aspect of the immigration enforcement that we've seen with your case in particular was also a direct violation of the First Amendment.
So they basically weaponize the immigration system to suppress speech and freedom of speech. Because as you said, like if I did a crime, if I committed a crime, they would have taken me to the criminal
Criminal
system.
court system, yeah.
Exactly, but because I did not do that, like
Yeah.
nothing that I did was a crime in any way, they weaponized the immigration system toward that. And it's not happening to me alone. Like it's still happening now to others, whether it's about Palestine, whether those who are speaking up against the draconian immigration policies.
Yeah.
So it happened in the past, and it's continuing to happen now.
One of the most insidious ways that this administration, I've talked to a lot of other journalist friends of mine about this as well, because I got detained by Customs and Border Patrol coming back into the country. Obviously it was nothing in comparison to what you went through, 104 days of being locked away. But in the interrogation process, some of the questions that they asked, and I'm a natural born U.S. citizen, some of the questions that they asked pertain to my commentary they knew full well what I speak on, whether it was like the contextualization of militant resistance against imperialism, whether it be against Israel or America or any other country, as a matter of fact, but they were specifically lasering in on Israel. But the really scary thing that I noticed was when they ask you questions that are actually actionable, right? Because at first they're doing a prodding operation. They just ask you like, oh, what do you think about Hamas? What do you think about Israel, right? Like, and whatever. I was just like, State Department has designated Hamas as a terrorist organization. I just kept repeating that over and over again, right? But in the second part, they start asking you like, have you given money to Hamas? Have you given money to Hezbollah or the Houthis? Which is, laughable. It's impossible to do, and illegal, right? But one of the questions that they also had in there was if I had actually communicated with a member of Hamas, which is not illegal, and especially in my line of work, is conducted by many journalists, right? Like people who have actually interviewed people, like Jeremy Scahill, for example, who routinely talks to the leadership and releases reports on drop site. And I think that there's always been an attempt by every single administration, Republican and Democrat alike, to muddy the waters between material support for a terrorist organization, which means like, offering training, logistics, direct money, arms, things like that. That's what constitutes material support, technically, in the eyes of the law. And I think now, I believe there was a case where lawyers were considered to be offering material support a couple years ago, and now they're trying to push it past the limit where speech could constitute material support, which directly contradicts the First Amendment protections that every citizen and non-citizen alike is supposed to have by this administration.
I mean, it's all just like to suppress speech, like it's all to because they're also trying to mud the water between like what's a pro-Hamas and pro-Palestine. What is an anti-Zionist and anti-Semite. They're trying to conflate between all of this, so it's easier for them to come after you just for the speech and the thoughts that you believe in. It's literally like they are policing our thoughts, policing our speech, so that they police the way we live, because they're control freaks. Like they want to control you in every aspect. In the Palestine context, they don't want any criticism to Israel and its crimes, and like America's complicity in these in these crimes,
and they're doing it in a way where they're clearly overstepping previous boundaries. It's unpopular, it's broadly unpopular, and the very reason why they're doing it is because discourse has shifted. This is what I was trying to ask you about. Like, do you feel like on the Palestinian plight, do you feel like you ever thought that it would get to a point where regular people on the street, especially over a certain age, white people named Deborah and Barbara, being like, oh yeah, free Palestine?
I always believed in that because I know that it's a righteous cause. Like it's not like a gray area. It's not complicated.
You're a more optimistic person than me.
No, I was always. That's why they were trying to push all that money into their propaganda.
Of course.
That's why it was easier for them to send me to Louisiana than actually discuss what I'm talking about. Like, than actually talking about what an intifada is. Talking about like divestment from Israeli companies and institutions, what apartheid is. So it was for them easier to cancel me than actually engage in the speech, and that's what's happening right now. But I always had that belief. Like I spent a few years of my life focusing on non-Palestinian literature, non-Palestinian history. Like I read, like books from very Zionist authors. I read books from
Morris.
No, I mean there's Ari Shafet. So just like to learn about their perspective, how they see it, and I thought that would may change. Like maybe they have something right, you know. Like I was like, let me explore that.
What was your conclusion?
No, my conclusion is like no. That made me like more firm in my stand that actually it is like clear that what Israel is doing is colonization, is supremacy. And I'm not going into apartheid because apartheid and it's all like part of the the base, which is like
you're talking about the root cause,
Exactly.
the ideology of Zionism,
exactly.
which is a ethno-religious supremacist ideology that requires the extermination of the population that is not in the in-group.
Yeah, no, I mean I went into like talking with, you know, like into these threads talking to Zionists around like what Zionism is, because for them, you know, you hear that like, oh, Zionism is self-determination of the Jewish people, which is okay, great. Like I support self-determination to any people around the world. Then it goes into in their historical land, homeland, in Palestine. But then here you think, okay, but this is happening at the expense of the native or the indigenous population in Palestine, because the fact that God somehow promised you a land like, doesn't make you actually like deserving like the land, because I don't know, because you can argue, I don't know, like was Jewish, so you can argue that Christians can claim Palestine.
Don't give him ideas, bro.
No, I mean they already have them. I mean that goes into the core of
Mike Huckabee just heard
exactly.
you. He's like, that's my guy.
That's the core of it, and but this is the reality, and it goes beyond that. Like I don't know, they were in the land like 3,000 years ago. I mean, once I had a conversation with.
It's also people that, you know, some of the people that didn't leave, then
exactly.
converted,
like,
reverted.
It's just like maybe my great grandparents were Jewish and they decided to convert to Islam. Like that's because they did not want to flee. Like, you know, like that. It's as simple as that. Like it goes
exactly
to that level. But I mean, ridiculousness doesn't stop here. Like once I was talking to a very Zionist like student at Columbia, who told me like, oh, like why do you say that you are a Palestinian refugee, but you were born in Syria and your parents were born in Syria? Like that doesn't make you Syrian.
No.
And I looked at her in the eye. I was like, wasn't this the same argument that you used to come back to Palestine after 3,000 years? Like, I mean, it's you know, it's as simple as that. Like it doesn't need to go.
Well, I think your argument is a little bit more valid than that one.
Like it's only 70 years ago, you know, like not 3,000.
Like if you
we don't know that you're a convert or an like there's so many like 3,000 years. Do you know what happened in 100 years? Yeah. Like to think about 3,000 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is in no way like I'm denying a Jewish claim to Palestine. Like there is a Jewish claim, there's a Muslim claim, there's a Christian claim in the land. There's like all sorts of claims in the land. It's just you you have, you know, like now we live there. Like we did not came parachuting from the sky, and we ended up in Palestine. And the fact that some people lived in the land 3,000 years ago for 200 years doesn't make them more worthy and more deserving of the land.
Okay, I'm denying all the claims. It's Ottoman land. Okay, let's get back to the root cause of the issue.
Then we are Islamophobes because Palestinians fought the Ottomans.
I didn't want to bring up your L's. Okay, you're bringing this up, but
I mean, it's just
I'm just saying like, a lot of people live there. Jews live there, Christians live there, no conflict for a very long time. And then the British come in.
The main difference is Ottomans did not come to ethnically cleanse.
No, of course,
they did not in no way try to alter the population there. The Ottomans were caring about like, just give me my taxes, do whatever you want
exactly
with this land. But still, like I'm saying that like Palestinians also fought the Ottomans. They fought the British. And now they're fighting the Israelis. And that goes into now whenever you mention the word Palestine, and if you support Palestine, they would automatically say, "Oh, you're anti-Semite." But like, I mean, were we like an Islamophobe back then? It's just like, I don't know, like we really did not have that.
Didn't respect the caliphate. It's not a big deal. Again, like I said, we're not talking about Palestinian L's right now.
No, I'm just talking about like the resistance.
No,
of course. Like the concept of resistance,
of course,
as it is resistance to get justice, to get your land back against occupation and any sort of injustice.
It's a national emancipatory movement.
Regardless of the religion or the ethnicity of your occupier. I did not choose the religion of my occupier. I would fight them no matter who they are. I mean, if the Ottomans come back, we'll fight them.
I thought we were making inroads right now.
No, I mean, it's just
he's Armenian, my cameraman.
I'm with you.
I love everything. I really do.
But a lot of this conversation, at least in the past 50 years, past 70 years, 77, 80 years, has always been deliberately misrepresented, and very successfully so. Like you also pointed out, there has been a very successful influence peddling operation, a way to just make things over there seem a lot different than what it actually is. And I do feel like now that has so dramatically changed, specifically with the cruelty of Israel's military campaign, its genocide, its ethnic cleansing operations, in a way that even average Westerners can recognize the inequalities here. And I do think that people that go out and protest and student movements that continue putting on a strong show and demonstrating their courage have been able to force this perspective, specifically the humanity of Palestinians, into the forefront of the conversation for the first time.
As it should be.
As it should be, but for the first time ever, I think, in this entire 80-year history.
And this is what making Israel more and more vicious. Just earlier this year, I think they announced like $150 million for their strategic communication. For their propaganda, like just to fight the propaganda. And on the other hand, like Palestinians don't spend anything, because it is as clear.
Not if you ask my Twitter reply. They're like, oh, how much is Hamas paying you? I'm like, how would they do that? Like, think. Like, how would they be able to do that, you think?
And this is why, once again, like why we should continue actually speaking up and should continue to be unapologetic about that, because Palestine now it's a mainstream issue. It's not like a dissent, because I had an argument with someone where it was like, oh, we should protect dissent. I was like, Palestine is not like speaking about Palestine is not dissent. It's the main course now. Unfortunately, institutions are the last to answer to any change that's happening like on the ground, but it will happen. And I mean, it's happening now in New York. It's happening across the universities. And going back to Colombia, a few years ago, the previous president said, like, divestment is not an issue we will ever discuss. Divestment from Israel. It's not an issue we will ever discuss at Colombia. 5 years later, it is the issue that we'll discuss. It's the only issue, in fact, that we are discussing at Colombia. So the tide is changing, and it's happening, and that's why we are seeing all this cruelty, whether here by dealing with not necessarily with the protests themselves, but also like all these doxing campaigns, all these like smear campaign. But what's more important is like the cruelty that's happening on the ground, the genocide that's happening in Gaza, the killing of hungry people every day in Palestine. But this is not enough. Like, this is what I want to say. Like, the fact that, you know, a lot of people are speaking for Palestine is absolutely not enough, because you need to translate that into your vote. You need to translate that into actually where you put your money, and the way you speak about Palestine, and actually standing up like firmly against all this like disinformation and propaganda, Israeli propaganda. With it also, like, you know, the Israel has always taken this misrepresentation approach with everything regarding Palestine, like whether it is, you know, like armed resistance, which is again legitimate under international law.
100%. Yeah.
They're trying to distort that into terrorism, but it goes into BDS, like boycott, divestment and sanctions, which is the most peaceful resistance like that you could ever get. Like, I don't like you, I don't want to buy anything from you. It's as simple as that. You know, like anyone, we do it on, you know, if you don't like a coffee shop or a coffee shop was mean to you, you don't go drink there. You know, like it's as simple as that. Yeah, Israel.
But if it's a business with ties to Israel, that's anti-Semitic and illegal, as a matter of fact, in like 30 plus states.
Because this is what Israel is trying to do. They're trying to do. Oh, this is economic anti-Semitism. This is diplomatic anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
You know, and they're trying to just like weaponize anti-Semitism in a way, just to protect their crimes, and to continue kill people. And it goes into the chants that we're chanting, or the students are chanting right now. Like now the media is mad about globalized intifada, or they can't even like pronounce it right.
Yeah, they say enchilada,
infitada. Like, I mean, just get it.
I'm angry, but I don't know what I'm angry about. I
get it right.
Say it.
And from the river to the sea, and this is all in the same effort of misrepresenting any Palestinian, anything Palestinian,
of course,
whether it's politics, chant, anything.
Legitimate right to armed resistance, illegal right to armed resistance, illegal terrorism, economic pressure, illegal anti-Semitism, even using your speech, as you said, to say that uprisings are a necessity against this wholly illegal enterprise. Also, anti-Semitism should be illegal. Hasn't become illegal yet, but they're trying.
They don't care about like the meaning of these chants. Like when you say globalized intifada, like, I mean, intifada is an uprising. You can go to the history of because they say, oh, it's an uprising, but like in the Palestinian context, it was actually a call to kill the Jews. But like when you look at the facts, the first intifada was entirely peaceful. In fact, 1,000 Palestinians were killed by Israel. At that time. Similarly, in the second intifada, where they say like it's more violent. Yes, it was more violent. But at the same time, 3,000 Palestinian civilians were killed at the end of it, compared, I think, like to about 500 or 700 Israeli civilians. So even these like basic facts, they're trying to get them distorted, just to shut your speech. The same with from the river to the sea. You know, like the list can go on and on, but like for them, anything that's remotely supporting Palestine should be penalized. Should be labeled as anti-Semite, so that we don't have to deal with it. You know, just it's anti-Semite. Don't. You know,
that's exactly what it is. It's a way to completely shut off the conversation, because it's impossible to have that argument. It's impossible to have that conversation within the adequate framework. If you were to look at this as a state doing violence to a captive population of indigenous people, all of a sudden, it doesn't look too good for Israel. So that has been a very effective way to completely
what is like a Zionist argument? You would like, maybe they have a point.
Nothing. I can't even think of a single thing. Let me think. Noah, you got one?
What?
You got a Zionist argument that you think is... Go ahead, don't... Don't show other people in the. Sorry.
The Zionist argument that what?
That you think holds weight, like that you think was like good.
No.
Ever that made you go.
Damn.
But like you can steal
like
man.
like the classic ones. Like I mean, one that like they're trying to.
Oh, you can show them. Okay.
One that they're like trying to operationalize now, right? Is like, oh well, there's so many Arab countries. Why don't they all just go there?
50 states in the United States.
Yeah.
Take them one, give them one.
You know, like let's New Mexico, done, sold.
Yeah, Idaho.
All bizarre.
A lot of white
yeah,
people
yeah,
there.
to me.
Wait, let me check the bag real quick, but you keep going.
Yeah.
So in the context of, I want to talk a little bit about Zoran.
Yeah.
Because we just talked about Intifada. This is the line that they're trying to use against. This is the line that they're trying to use against Zoran. Sorry. No, I got it. Don't worry. This is how it was at the DNC. Just.
No, to me it's just like go research. Like don't listen to me. Like now I gave you like a definition of what Intifada, but don't listen to me. Go research your Intifada and make your own decision. Like that's what I want people to do. Like just to research and learn.
Yeah. No, but the reason why I was bringing that up is because with Zoran they tried to also do this thing where they were like, globalize the. He said globalize the Intifada is you know. Language that he doesn't use specifically, but that he will not condemn. He will not police speech.
I don't
on.
use it either. Like just to be clear, it's just not because.
No, I
to
get
me-
why. I get why everyone I talked to said you were very.
No.
nice.
No, I don't use it just because, like, to me, you know, my goal at Colombia is to get it to divest.
Yeah.
But I can see why people can use it, and I understand why. It's globalizing the solidarity around them.
Exactly.
Like that call for uprising against all systems of injustice.
Yeah, of course.
It's as simple as it's as simple as that. Like I don't use it because I don't use it. Like because you know that's it. But like that doesn't mean it's wrong.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say is, so Zoran in an interview was asked this question. And this like was used as a line of attack against him, which of course failed. He won the Democratic primary handily, which again never thought I would see the day, but fantastic. And he said something in retort where he was like, "This is just an Arabic word, and people are just scared of this Arabic word, but it just means uprising." The Holocaust Museum used to in their Arabic translation would say Warsaw Ghetto Intifada.
Exactly, Intifada to Warsaw.
Yeah.
That's what we say in Arabic.
And then the Holocaust Museum actually, due to the pressure that they got from Zionist groups, changed it. You know what they changed it to? Muqawama.
Resistance.
Which is, of course, for those of you who don't know, this is a fun fact for you. Hamas is an acronym. It's was it Harakat al-Muqawama al-Islamiyya. So they changed it to a more militant Arabic word, not realizing that they were doing that. But they did it because they were getting this consistent pressure. Because people were like, "What do you mean? Intifada is just the Arabic word for uprising. You use it in the Holocaust Museum uses it in when describing the Warsaw Ghetto Intifada because it was an uprising."
No, and we use it for like the Syrian uprising, Intifada Syria, the Arab uprising, like the Rabi' al-Arabi or Intifada.
Yeah.
Like we use it all the time. But yeah, this goes into they just want they want to muddy the water. They want to actually take the attention from what we're actually doing. Like, in terms of like what we are calling for, and just go spend time trying to justify language, because I don't see chance killing people. I see U.S. bombs killing people. That's what we should care about right now. What we should focus on right now, even if that was like, what do they say, like offensive or.
Which it's not.
Which is not, but would they call
But even if it was, exactly. Even if it was, it's ridiculous.
I mean, let's solve this. Like the genocide that's happening. That like, just this week, hundreds of Palestinians were killed, waiting for food. Rather than just like focusing on globalized Intifada, let's focus on the billions of dollars that the U.S. is investing in not investing actually, funding, giving them away to Israel.
70% of all offensive and defensive weapons that Israel has used since October 7 has been given to Israel by the United States of America.
Yeah.
It's my tax dollars, your tax dollars that are going to this.
Yeah. The same with Colombia, like all the money, the tuition fees that we pay, it's being invested. Part of it is being invested in weapon manufacturers because they want to profit from war and from genocide, and this is what we should care about, not like globalize the Intifada and from the river to the sea. It's bizarre, like, to me.
Yeah, it's very selfish. It's very self-interested. Like, what happens on college campuses becoming a primary focus, becoming a major concern by the media. Always me off. It always rubbed me the wrong way. I visited the encampments at UCLA. I talked to the people in Colombia as well. I interviewed them, but in my visits, I saw that these were. I mean, this was some of the best protest movements, some of the best organized protest movements I've ever seen in terms of messaging discipline, in terms of having like protest marshals, making sure that like infiltrators or agitators were not allowed to.
And yet they were painted as violent, creating intimidating environment for Jewish students. Yet, like, if you think about it, these students took a lawn. Like, the lawn was literally like isolated from everything.
Yeah.
So like it can't get any less disruptive than that.
Yeah.
Yet you had Zionists, provocateurs coming, like literally coming, like filming people inside their tents.
To dox them.
No, not even that. Just to get a reaction, so they can have a 30-second video. They post it on Twitter to say, look, these they are excluding Jewish students. Yet Jewish students were literally like a big part of it. They had like a whole section, Jewish students, where they would host the Shabbat dinners, everything like in that. Like, and even these same students who claim they had safety concerns, like they would come and eat from the food in the encampment.
Yeah.
Like they had that audacity, like to do that. And, and if you look at it, like especially at Colombia, because I had more, knowledge about it, and I was there. The de-escalators that were there, like students would have like a training for de-escalation because they don't want to create any problems. Like, what we are protesting is Colombia's complicity in the genocide. We're not protesting against anyone, like any student, no matter who you are. But on the opposite side, you see these students literally harassing, intimidating, provocating for violence.
With institutional backing.
No, and the institution invites violence. They invited NYPD to come on campus, like, and NYPD themselves, they said, oh, they were peaceful. They were just sitting, but we were called in. Like that's part of it. Or if you go into like what they say, like Hencehold, for example, where students took over a building, and they say it's an anti-Semitic incident, but like, I mean, they did not allow me to go in. Like, I'm a student. Like, I'm a Muslim student. They did not allow anyone to go in. Like, it was closed for everyone, and there was no classes. The university was shut down at that point. And this goes into just messaging, how they're trying to just like change messaging in an abhorrent way, like a very abhorrent way. And at the end of the day, they get the protection.
In a very cynical way, and in a way that actually breeds unnecessary enmity when you falsely conflate Judaism with Zionism, when you falsely conflate the interests and the actions and the ambitions of Jews all around the world with a state that is engaging in horrible, barbaric, criminal behavior, this repulsive behavior, genocide, the worst crime of all crimes, one that is so severe that a genocide in retaliation would not be just. That's how severe it is. And yet, even now to this day, it feels like there are a lot of older people who think that this conflation is still successful when it's not, and it's actually a dangerous one that creates unnecessary tension against Jews in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's being done in the name of the Jewish people is the scariest thing that would actually increase anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
And that's why.
And it already
like,
is happening.
To me, JVP and like Jews for Ceasefire groups, like Jewish groups supporting like human rights, are the ones actually combating anti-Semitism the most, because they are the ones going out and saying, you know, like what Israel is doing in our name is not right. It's not in our name. They're doing it just for their own genocidal purposes, for their own colonial purposes, and I always say, like, when you have a rise in anti-Semitism, you have a rise in Islamophobia too.
Of course.
Because it's the same factors.
Yeah.
It's the same supremacists and the same racist people who just hate everyone. You know?
And historically, that comes from a much larger group, which is oftentimes right-wing Christian fascists that are the ones who go and, you know, spray paint synagogues with the swastika or do the Islamophobic attacks in general as well. So I think that's a reality that a lot of New Yorkers are obviously aware of, which is precisely the reason why all of this, like, Zoran as an anti-Semite stuff just didn't work at all.
They use this label because it is a really nasty label. Like, no one wants to be labeled anti-Semite because we knew what happened, like, to Jewish people throughout history. And they're using it just like so. Everyone would say, like, oh no, I'm not anti-Semite. Like, you know, like, that's why they're trying so hard to conflate anti-Zionism with which is Zionism is very racist. Like, I can't tell you how racist Zionism is. Like, for someone to think that they are superior to others, that they are more deserving to others, just because God somehow promised them something. And I'm not sure if you know, but like historically, like Zionism was actually labeled racism by the UN.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's the only. You can Google it now. Like, the only UN resolution that have ever been rescinded was Zionism is racism. But
this is the truth.
Which is the truth, but that happened in the 70s. But then in the 90s, because of the peace process, the Palestinians, like, it was one of the conditions for Oslo, like, for the Palestinians to rescind this resolution. So it was cancelled, and in the UN history, this was the only UN resolution that was ever cancelled.
That's crazy. So they want us to wrap this up soon.
No,
but
we're fine.
we pushed CBS.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so that you.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, I had.
Damn, don't feel too bummed, bro. You're like,
No,
CBS.
good.
Damn. It's like, I'm stuck with
I'm
this
with
guy.
Hasan.
I'm stuck with this guy now. This sucks. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now that we bumped CBS, shouts out.
Not entirely.
So.
We don't want to announce
So they're probably watching this too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, not only them.
There is another thing that's happening recently, and I don't know if you care to discuss this, if you want to talk about it, but you are suing the government for your detention. Is there anything you want to say about that?
I mean, I would just say, like, as I should, you know, the
Of
government really took away from me things that are. I don't think I can get them back, whether it is the birth of my son, whether it is my reputation that they tried to tarnish, whether all the lies and defamatory, like, statements against me. And this is just like one step, like literally the first step of accountability that I will be seeking.
They
against
took away your
everyone who contributed to this injustice against me. So it's $20 million or an official apology from the administration.
Okay.
And this, of course, the official apology would include ultimately like the just the end of the policy, like the anti-Palestine policy that this government has been pursuing. So this is basically it. And yeah, I need them to pay because Trump made it very clear that he only cares about money. Like he made it very, very clear. He's like, I only care about money. And this is like to talk to him in a language that he understands. Although I know like this money wouldn't come out of his pocket. Unfortunately, it's coming from our pockets, like from taxpayer money.
Better that
which
than
is,
another Patriot missile.
or the billions of dollars that.
But I don't think it's just about money. I think what you're saying is like, or at least my analysis of this is that if there isn't some kind of repercussion against this by someone who now has this platform, who has this attention on them for a severe injustice that was done, then the administration feels powerful enough to get away with
emboldened,
it.
with that.
No, I think it's
like
perfectly
I want them
valid.
to pay back, like, or just like for them to feel that, like, the heat, because I'm hoping that this wouldn't be the first case. Like I'm hoping that other people around the country would bring up like cases against the injustices that this administration is inflicting upon people, whether again citizens or non-citizens.
You also asked for an apology. You also asked for an
He mentioned that.
I asked for an apology, and this money that if I get it, like, will be used to actually support the communities and the individuals who have been targeted by the administration and by Columbia University, because there is something that's not being said enough. There's over 100 students at Columbia who are suspended or expelled just for opposing a genocide. And this is unfortunately not making it like to the media. Like Columbia University is literally penalizing and criminalizing students for their freedom of speech.
For following through on something that they're teaching in the classrooms, which is that genocide is unconscionable and wrong and immoral.
Except when Israel is doing it.
Yeah, well, even then, like there are plenty of studies that also, plenty of professors, at least the ones that remain, that have talked about this stuff in their lectures as well. Which, ironically enough, we can talk about that as well. The Trump administration has now created an academic receivership. Not dissimilar to what Nazi Germany did in a lot of the universities initially, and this
they won't control thoughts.
Yeah, this came after concessions that Columbia had already given. Part of which was, of course, undermining the security and safety of the students that were paying tuition.
No, but what more they want? Like they literally expelled students.
Yeah.
They sprayed students.
Yeah.
They expelled professors. They brought the police not one time, not two times, 4 times in a span of like a year and a half. No, I think it's a year, not even a year and a half. In a span of a year, like 4 times. And historically, Columbia only brought the police or called in the police once in the 60s.
Yeah, and that was like commemorated.
And so literally, and Columbia pushed like a very Zionist narrative, like a very pro-Israel narrative. To the students and defying like student safety. Yet that was not enough to the administration because the administration does not care about like student safety. They don't, because if they care about student safety, they would have banned like guns and like especially from campuses. Or like they don't care about like anti-Semitism.
Or would have kicked out a professor that recently was suspended or left Columbia University. I will not be naming them. Very shy individual. A menace. I've heard from so many students at Columbia, like first-hand testimony.
Yeah, but Columbia emboldened such figures. I mean, they made them figures. Let's say that because like
Sex
and Columbia
appeal.
knows it. Like in private, like when I had these meetings with the administration, and they would raise like I would show them, like, see, the students are threatening, like, the protesters, these
Yeah.
like provocateurs. They are like doxing the students online, and they say, yeah, we know, but we can't say anything online.
Yeah.
We can't issue a
Yeah.
statement because their line their line publicly was that there is threat to Jewish safety.
Yeah.
But the Jewish students who were actually under threat were the pro-Palestine
Yeah.
Jewish students who, one of them got expelled for being an anti-Semite
Yeah.
from Colombia.
Yeah, and I mean, Grant Minor too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But this and the same Columbia University that in the 30s sent a delegation to Nazi Germany, and when students protested this delegation, they expelled the student.
Yeah.
So imagine now, like, this university.
At least they're consistent.
I mean, they're consistent in their stupidity and just caring. I mean, Colombia cares about two things, like, and education is not one of them. They
Yeah.
care about their brand and their loans.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. We saw an example of this with Harvard as well. Harvard quietly capitulated to the administration's demands. They restructured their Middle Eastern Studies department and did a bunch of stuff in terms of quote unquote combating anti-Semitism on campus, right? Like all of this fake bullshit for a problem that was elevated to this degree that wasn't really about anti-Semitism at all. And then the administration still came after them. And then they said they were going to revoke grants. They said that, and they kept putting up this pressure until Harvard was like, okay, we have to fight back. This is ridiculous. Do you feel like there's any point where Colombia could have changed their trajectory at all? Do you feel like that's ever going to happen for Colombia? Because I feel like their institution's reputation is forever tarnished.
I mean, there's always the opportunity to listen to the students, to actually go public, apologize for all the just the cowardness that happened over the last 2 years, to reinstate the students who were expelled, to actually divest the investments from companies complicit in human rights violations, as anyone should do. Like, why an education institution is investing in weapon manufacturers? Like, you care about education. So there's this chance that Colombia should do. Was I surprised that they capitulated to the administration? I wasn't, because again, like, Colombia doesn't care about safety. They care about the money that they have, the brand, maintaining their non-profit status, having all these billions continue pouring into the institution. But even they created this condition to themselves, because from the very beginning they capitulated to the narrative that there is that the protests are creating a hostile environment. That's why you have different presidents coming to Colombia, and then they'd be like, we're doing everything, like Shipman, like she's now like they called her an anti-Semite, like, you know, like, and she's doing everything they wanted, like they literally. The same with Shafiq, she did everything they wanted, but it was not enough for them. And this is why, like, when you look at the facts, like, show us the facts of like, the presidents would come and like, okay, like, let's see what's happening, like, let's combat anti-Semitism because of the protests, because anti-Semitism is happening, not because of the protests. Of course.
Like
then they
when,
don't see anything.
Like when Trump supporters, neo-Nazis, open neo-Nazis marched in Charlottesville. One of them was a Columbia student, and he wasn't even like hiding his identity, the Tiki Torch guys in Charlottesville. And Columbia allowed that person to do remote student work to graduate. That wasn't an issue at all at that point, because that's not the type of anti-Semitism that matters. The real anti-Semitism that doesn't matter to a lot of these institutions.
Like Proud Boys were at the gates of Colombia. And we did not hear anything from them. Minouche Shafiq received like a lot of death threats. She told me that, like, she received a lot of death threats from right wing. But we don't hear about that, like, on the media. Like you say, like, it's only and this goes into one of the main structural problems, or the main problems here in the discourse, which is what happened to me shows that, like, Palestinians are automatically dehumanized. Like we should show our humanity. We should show that we are normal people.
Yeah.
That we should only focus on the death of children and women because like for some reason Palestinian men are violent. Like we shouldn't talk about them.
Yeah.
And we should ask ourselves like what got us here? Like to have Trump use the word Palestinian as a slur. Or
Chuck Schumer.
I'm not sure if that's an insult to Palestinians.
Yeah. No, that's what's so crazy about it is you see a lot of Gentiles that unconditionally back Israel, where they get to tell Jewish people how not Jewish people actually are, which I feel like it under different circumstances would immediately like rise to the level of anti-Semitism that even the likes of Jonathan Greenblatt, for example, would potentially call into question, and he's nowhere to be found on this stuff because he's too busy coming after people like myself.
With the Shylock like comment that
exactly
that Trump did, but even with the same administration, like Rubio.
Elon Musk
called me,
twice.
No, called me like an anti-Semite, but then the next day he would call the Germany's like neo-Nazi AfD.
Yeah. Yeah, he would defend. Yeah, he defended
he would
AfD.
defend them. Like he would call them, and like it's insane because if you think about it, I'm not sure if everyone knows what the charge against me is, but basically that I one of them, the Rubio determination is that I undermined the U.S. foreign policy in combating anti-Semitism. But what's undermining like this policy of undermining of combating anti-Semitism is U.S. unconditional support to a country that's waging a genocide under the name of Judaism is actually supporting neo-Nazi parties, is actually meeting with Holocaust deniers here in the United States. That's what's actually
that's actually creating
hindering
anti-Semitism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They use it because it's convenient for them now.
Well, even the IHRA definition, which even the person responsible for it says should never be applied in a legal setting, even though nobody cares, and they still try to do it. It in and of itself contradicts what this administration is trying to advance in terms of their interests, because like one of them is the conflation of Israel and Judaism. Like that is anti-Semitic, and it is definitionally anti-Semitic within the IHRA definition as well. So
because that shows you that they don't care about anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
They only care about like
for sure
protecting.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Like Israel. I mean, for people.
Okay. So let's talk about you. What do you like to do? Other than this.
Normally?
Yeah, what do you do normally in your day-to-day?
Absolutely not. I don't like protesting. So people think that we love protesting. Like we protest because it's fun. It's not. I would rather go spend time with my wife and just like literally chilling than actually protesting. Like that's a main thing that like people should understand. Whether about me and about the vast majority of protesters. No one enjoys protesting, like under the rain or just like like chanting. Like why would I?
Yeah.
If it's not necessary, but I do it because it's necessary.
Yeah.
Because what's happening like requires me to do so. So absolutely not protesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
How was that moment of like finally seeing your child for the first time after this detention?
So it's. I mean, now I spend most of my time with my son and with Dean and Noor. I mean, it felt to me it's just like. I don't think that you can describe like. I mean, before like every parent would tell me like, oh, tomorrow when you see like your son, like you can't describe it like before and after. I mean, I spend most of my my time just like literally like playing with him. He's still 2 months and 10 days, but I don't. To me, there's that feeling of, like Palestinian fathers go through this every day, whether in Gaza or across Palestine. So I have always this thought when Dean is crying for food, and I'm like, I have like food for him, but like about the parents that they can't get food because Israel now is actually preventing baby formula from coming in Gaza. How cruel that could be. So I have always this thought in my head, and just like being worried about separation again from them. That's why I'm spending like 24 hours with them. But it's crazy now. Like I'm getting like parenting advice from Zionists, like being like, oh, like he's on the streets now. Why he's not with his kids?
I wanted to talk about that. How difficult was it for you to separate once again from your child to go back and do a rally?
No, I mean, Dean was already like literally in the second room, like in another room. So no, it wasn't like as people would think, like, oh, like I spent like 10 hours rallying and spending half an hour. No, I'm spending like a lot of time with the family. But I felt it's important for me to rally that day, just to show that we're not afraid. Because what the Trump administration did to me, they wanted to set me as an example. So others wouldn't oppose Israel's genocide. So that's why I made that decision of actually, like, despite so many warnings about my safety, to actually go and walk with the protesters that day. And I'm doing it like not for anyone. I'm doing it for myself, for my son, because I don't want him to live in a country that's supporting the killing of his people, and they don't. Like I don't want him to protest like in the future. Like hopefully Palestine will be free. Hopefully like the world would be, I don't know, like some. I mean, I know it wouldn't, but I would hope that would happen in the future. So now, like literally, like all my time with my family. Usually, I mean, I just mostly work and see friends. So that's like I don't do gaming. I'm sorry, like
No.
I have PS4. I do some FIFA. So
classic.
That's exactly. But I'm.
What do you watch on television? You watch any TV?
Just
movies?
any show that my wife Noor wants to watch. So
You guys watch the Turkish soap operas?
no,
That's pretty poppin'. What?
No,
No Ertuğrul? No? Okay.
no.
It's another L. I'm sensing a lot of anti-Ottoman, anti-Turkish animosity.
I love
coming from
Istanbul.
you.
I mean, to me, Istanbul is really the prettiest city in the world.
It's nice. You don't have to say that.
No, it is. It is. It is. I mean, I go there very frequently.
Yeah.
Or I used to very frequently. But that I don't do much fun. Like, to me, just like seeing friends. That's like mostly why I spend time with.
A little bit of hookah.
Thankfully, no.
No, you don't smoke hookah. I don't either. Everyone always wants to go to get nargile. I'm like,
Socially, maybe, but like not like I would have it like on standby.
Just coffee's enough.
Coffee. Just like I love like seeds, sunflower seeds. Like, I would. I'm a very classic like Arab. Like person. So.
You're gonna move into Unk status soon.
Already there.
I like that.
Too late. So.
Okay. Before we let you go, and once again, thank you so much for spending time with us, and thank you guys for everything you've done so far and allowing us to have this moment. What would be your last message to people who are maybe worried about these protests not going anywhere? Because I'll say this much: I keep telling people, keep up the pressure, don't stop. I have the past decade of experience that I can look back to and say that like all of this pressure has amounted to something. It has genuinely changed people's opinion on this. And you are much more optimistic than I am in your demeanor. So.
I mean, basically, as you said, like the change is happening. Like, I mean, my message is just look at New York.
Yeah.
Look what happened with Subran. The change is happening. Unfortunately, usually movements, like the results or the impact of movements usually is slow. You don't see it like in a day or two. Like it takes time, so it needs patience. But the tide is changing. It's already changing, and just don't fear what this administration. I mean, not what the establishment, because it's not about Trump. It's about the whole establishment in this country, and they want us to feel like they want us to feel that our jobs are in jeopardy, our future is threatened, because actually like we are changing the world, and we need to continue like mounting the pressure. Like we should continue to do that, and because at some point this regime of oppression and suppression will collapse. But you need this persistent pressure on it. So this is, I mean, the main message I have. I hope my stories is like some sort of gives hope to people, like not to fear authority. Because the moral cost of silence is much higher. Like I can't imagine myself being silent while my people are being genocided. Not only my people, any people are genocided. I did the same in Syria. Like it's not that like because it's Palestine. No, I did the same like in Syria, and like it's happening. We will win. I'm certain of that.
Inshallah.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Mahmoud Khalil.
Thank you so much.
This was amazing.
Thanks to you.
We got a crowd in here.
Yeah. You wanna try?
What is this?
I think it's cheese.
I'll try it.
Cheese.
Let me take the zin out.
Is it cheese? Yeah. Is
Oh,
it
it
good?
is. That's good.
And we are in Qahwa House. I know. Like,
Oh yeah, thank you
but
to
it's fine. Qahwa
Qahwa
House is really
Delicious.
We're leaving now.
Yeah.
One of the Qahwa houses around the country.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Wait.
Omar.
Yeah, thank you to Omar from Qahwa House as well for allowing us to use this space to have this conversation. This is delicious. I should have had it when I first came
That's
in.
why I was like, yeah, let's come here.
Yeah. What else I got here that's good?
I mean, you should try their sweets. There's Khalit al-Nahl, like, what's Khalit al-Nahl?
Oh, honey.
Honeycomb, yeah. It's really good. It's there.
Were you about to have some of this? Because
I had one.
Okay.
You ate myself, but it's fine. I will.
Okay. All right. Well, thank
And
you.
what's next now? Where are you going?
I'm gonna go back to my hotel, my base of operations, and go back to covering the news.
Thank you so much.
Well,
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. Oh, let's take a photo. Can you take a photo? Yeah, yes, please. Here, I'll come over there.
Difference here. Can I?
Yeah.
When oh.
Say goodness.